Welcome back, friends. Today we're going to do a little quick hike. Well, 6.5 miles I think is what it is. We're here in Ouray, Colorado, and we're going to do the perimeter trail. It's a moderate level type trail, and there's lots of ways that you can jump off the trail and cut it short if you need to. I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of vertical gain or anything, but I think we're at 7,800 feet, something like that, so it shouldn't be too bad. You're going to start the hike right across from the visitor center just as you're coming into town, and a little short hike up here to the trail register. Get registered and get going. Today I had She Who Must Be Obeyed with us. I guess she got tired of waiting for me. Mr. Bill, as usual, freeloading back there in the back, and as always, my hiking dog Tater. So let's get after it and see if we can see anything interesting. Pretty neat stuff here. We're obviously on the ridge, but you'll see over there, it's kind of hard to see it, but the trail goes back and forth over there. I think it's going to be a little more fun once we get closer to that part. As always, make sure you're looking around while you're hiking. You'll see stuff like this old mining bridge. This part of Colorado, there's a lot of mining going on, and yeah, it goes straight up to. Whew. We're about a quarter mile in here. I didn't want to show you any of that because it was damn near straight up, and kind of loud too. You got to get away from town, but whatever the elevation gain is, I think we caught it in the first 0.2 miles. Well, we have a beautiful little water feature here. And we also have some early hikers down there. Not sure how they get down there, but I think the trail cruises around that way. Just came from up here. They do an excellent job of installing these steps in a lot of areas where it really needs to have some, not only for erosion, but just to help us get up there. And I guarantee you, what's great about these is they're not real tall steps. We've climbed some places or hiked some places where they put in steps, but they're like 18 inches tall. So it really works on you. But not here. They're about, maybe 10, 12 inches. So the steps are real easy, and it makes for an easy climb. If you wanted to, you could walk on over there, and you could actually get a little closer to the falls if you wanted to. Okay, we've got down here to the bottom of the falls, and they have a little map here. A little bit confusing because we have a trail going off this way on this side of the river, but there's also a trail that goes up that way and crosses over. I think that's the way we're supposed to go. We'll have to study our notes here a little bit. Okay, it appears either way you go, it'll be fine. We went ahead and descended on this side of the river, across the footbridge like our notes say. Oh, look at this. Just doesn't matter where you go in Colorado, the scenery is always excellent. And right here they got a little resting area here if you want to. There's a big map, and your choices are you can descend down this trail and take a shortcut, grab one of the roads into town, or to continue along the big perimeter trail, which is what we want to do. You can go up this way, and we have a sign here, and there you are. So far we've had pretty good information along the trail. Okay, we've kind of come to a intersection. We've made a pretty decent ascent from that bench down there. I mean, it's pretty steep. So we got the trail that way. You can see there's a blaze there. Trail this way, and then we have this sign which is kind of worthless, except it says trail that way, nothing like you are here. But there's blazes all along that trail. We walked up about 100 yards. We really weren't sure if it was going to cut back and go over that way, because the town should always be on your right on this trail. So I think we're going to head this way. Okay, we popped out on this little road here. We've got to walk down about 100 yards or so. You can see the trailhead ahead, along with Mrs. Goat Mumbler, also known as She Who Must Be Obeyed. And then we'll be back on the trail. It's been pretty scenic so far. Outside of the noise I hear, I'm good with it. And we come to another one of those situations. Trail that way.
I think it's this way.
I've sent my investigative reporter up there to scout it out.
He's gonna get 6 miles. I'm gonna get 8.
She said no. So we're gonna go this way. And like I say, just keep the town on your right. You're doing this trail clockwise. So I don't think you can go wrong making right turns. We'll see here in a minute. Could be wrong. But that's all right. Yeah, baby. Get yourself some of that. Nothing like hiking in Colorado. Unless you live at 300 feet above sea level and you're trying to cough up lungs and stuff. We're pretty well acclimated. What? Huh?
It's the other way, but you gotta take a look. You gotta look.
Great. She didn't pass her Indian Scout merit badge. Girl Scouts, evidently. Ah! Wow. Check this out. Well, hey man, that thing was worth the detour. Pretty nice stuff. Okay, let's head back to the trail. Okay, we just broke out of an area there. We're starting to get sprinkled on a little bit, but looks like that's passed. And I think we're about 2.5 miles, 2.7. You'll cross a Jeep road and there's some guys down there that have some really sweet backcountry camping spots. You can camp 14 days and I don't think there's a charge. U.S. Forest Service property. They maintain this. But, oh, there's somebody sitting up there with their puppy. But we're back in the back country now, which is definitely what we prefer. Oh yeah. This is awesome. Puppy's enjoying it. But we can't see, or we can hear a truck go by occasionally from a distance, but view is spectacular out here. We just came across Highway 550 and we're on this trail, kind of a Jeep road, I think towards their hydroelectric plant or something. And this is where you want to kind of keep your eye out. We are in bear country. We haven't seen any scat, but if you see any places that you see berries in the vegetation, that's a good place for bears. But it's nice and cool here, quiet, and we're about 3.2 miles in, I think. We're not going very fast. I think our average is about 1.6, 1.7 mile per hour. Pretty leisurely. Yes, this is the Ice Park Trail, service road for the hydroelectric plant. And we're going to follow it down this way. It's really pretty nice down here. Okay, we're descending into a little area here, and we can hear the water rushing, which is one of my favorite things. Now, as you're going to notice over here, which runs behind where we're actually camped, the water looks completely different. And that's because of all the minerals in the water from the mining. So, don't think that's good for fishing. I was hoping we were going to be able to fish right there at our campsite, but it doesn't look like it. We got this nice bridge here.
Perimeter trail. This is really pretty. The first part is pretty rocky and hard.
Pretty nice. As I bang the camera around. But yeah, the water is appreciably different down here. As we continue on. I read about this pipe crossing here. Evidently the pipe's got a leak. But they did make a nice bridge for us. Ice Park Trail. Signage good. Private property that way.
Well, how come there's two directions?
This is the water that actually services Ouray. And along the way we go. Well, I think they can find that leak with no problem. Okay, Ouray is not known for mountain biking. It's known mainly for rock climbing and ice climbing in the winter. So what we have here is along the pipeline. They have a bridge, and evidently this is one of the great areas down there. Pretty scary though. They got some warning signs. Danger of falling ice and rock. Can get killed. But anyway, it's nice of them to make this for the guys to come down here and do a little climbing. Not my cup of tea, but a lot of people like it. All right, it's a nice canyon here. Barbara pointed out something very interesting. Let's see if you can tell what it is. If you're a Texan, what do you think about that? Native rock in the shape of the great state of Texas. Yeah, buddy, only in Colorado. Yeah, here you can get you some climbing lessons, some climbing experience here. Like I said, Ouray is a big climbing area, but not for me. 3.9 miles in, just past the little what they call the Ouray Ice Park there, where you saw the climbers. They have a nice little area here, and got a little kiosk there, and they also have, which is kind of nice for those who might need it, porta potty. So, like I say, just in case you need it, at the 3.9 mile mark. And then we're going to head on that away. The scenery is a little different over here on this side. We've got less than 2 miles to go. Something like that. Sun's at our back. And like I said, we still haven't seen any wildlife other than the little ground squirrels and things like that. But not too bad. We got out on the trail about 7:30. We were hoping for about 7 o'clock. So temperature isn't too bad. Now, Ouray is in a just basically in town down in the canyon, so you're not going to get the real cool temperatures here. When I went out this morning, it was about, I think, 48 degrees at about 6:15 this morning. It's not real warm up here, but it is mid-August, so expect a little heat. All right, what are we coming up to here? quick peek. Perimeter Trail, Box Canyon Park. Okay, just keep following the signs. Looks like we might have a bridge to cross up here. And I hear some roaring water. Oh yeah. Let's see what we got going here. Oh yeah, beautiful clear water. Check out the other side. And down in the town of Ouray.
I guess if you go down the Box Canyon Park, go down.
Wow. Check this out. They call Box Canyon Park here. It is accessible from town, so you're going to see some tourists and such. There on the bridge. Like I said earlier, there's several places to access the trail. And as you come upon those places, you'll see a little more traffic. But the only thing we've really seen is a couple guys doing the entire trail and a couple trail runners. Oh, look at this. Steep downhill here. I better use both hands. Just give you a sense of that. Pretty good little staircase there. Cables on both sides though, so help you if you feel a little unsteady or a little tired, but that's pretty cool. Oh man, are you kidding me? More uphill. More uphill. Of course, that's part of coming to Colorado. If you're coming to do flat hikes, this ain't the place to be. Go to Lubbock. Yeah, we're up here at the top of Box Canyon now, and let me tell you, that was about 8 minutes of suck. That's all that was. You can see the sign over there. It says Box Canyon, but we're gonna follow the perimeter trail this way. Okay, with about a mile to go. Man, they're not cutting us any slack. It's more climbing. We'll review this further, but at the end. But as far as a workout, this has been a really good workout. It'll be over 6 miles. So it is not a beginner trail, I would say. Definitely take some trekking poles. It is dry and sketchy. They've saved me about half a dozen times so far. But your legs will feel this. If you're not used to it, that's for sure. And if you're a flatlander, you will feel it even more. Well, man, that crappy ascent has been rewarded with this beauty. I mean, these rock faces are just beautiful. And down there you can see a beautiful river. Of course, we won't be able to get to it, but just the sound is reward in itself. So just remember, on that part of the trail where there's the suck, there's usually a reward somewhere else. All right. I'm telling you, you got to watch this stuff. It's dry and sketchy. Gotta watch my step. Man, that's gorgeous. Let's go see how we can make our way down there without killing ourselves. Definitely be careful down through here. Oh, that looks like a brand new bridge. Thank you, Forest Service. Some of your tax dollars at work anyway. I think Barbara's going off trail. There she goes. Just to give you some perspective, we started way over there and we have hiked kind of up and down all the way over there, back around. There's Box Canyon, and back to where we are here. That's why they call it the perimeter trail, the perimeter of Ouray. And I think we're about a mile back from the trailhead, but I'll be ready to be done. I don't mind telling you, it's starting to warm up here. Okay, we're all done here at the perimeter trail in Ouray, Colorado. As you can see, this is the end of it. It's kind of a Jeep road here, and you're going to descend into a residential area, and that's the end of the trail. Depending on where you get your information, it's going to be anywhere from 6.2 to 6.4 miles. I believe ours was about 6.4 miles today. One thing that we didn't know until I read the very end of my little guide here is this drops you into a residential area, and from there it drops you into town. From there you've got to hike down 550 to the information center. Basically you're just running through, you're hiking right through the middle of town, you know, walking on the sidewalk or whatever, but it's about a mile. The good news is it's downhill, so that works out pretty good. As far as this trail is concerned, I would have to rate it as far as interesting, I would say about, you know, a 6 or so. The high canyon walls and everything, a lot of that stuff's really beautiful, really nice, but you're too close to town. You're constantly hearing, about 60 to 70% of the time, you're going to be hearing trucks going down the road and things like that. And just from my perspective, I like to hear nothing but my feet on the dirt and maybe a little wildlife. That's about it. But from a workout standpoint, man, it's right up there. It's a 9. There's 1,400 feet of total elevation gain here. Doesn't sound like a whole lot in 6.4 miles, but a lot of that is just damn near straight up. I mean, it will work your quads and it'll work your knees. So just to let you know, this is not a trail for wussies. Don't show up out here with some flip-flops and a bottle of water and think you're going to have a good time, because you're not. You're going to need some good hiking shoes. Make sure you got some poles. These poles saved me probably a dozen times today. This trail is dry, sketchy. There's some rocks and things like that. You can't hurt yourself. Got to pay attention to what you're doing. So if you're close to town here, if you're passing through and you're looking for a pretty decent hike, you want to get a good workout, 3 hours worth or something, probably not a bad trail. As far as you just want to see the beauty of Colorado, yes, you're going to see a lot of things that are nice, but there's also going to be a lot of stuff that is just flat boring and ugly. There's quite a bit of hiking on this type of trail here. As a matter of fact, from right after mile 5, as you get to Box Canyon, or right as you get through Box Canyon, it's a pretty good ascent up on this type of stuff, and it's loose, and it's just no fun at all. It's about 8 to 10 minutes worth, and I didn't like that at all, but that's what we had to end up with out here. So let me know what you think about our little goofy videos. Oh, and by the way, Tony, you over at Blue Collar Backcountry, go ahead and take your fat little fingers off the keyboard. I don't want to hear any comments about my stylish hat here. I've had enough sun here this week, and I'm trying to keep my Noxzema complexion, you know, pretty, you know, and I know you're about to type something, so don't even think about it. But for the rest of you guys, I'm glad you went along with me and Mr. Bill and Tater here and She Who Must Be Obeyed. And if you like what you see, make sure you give us one of these and hit that subscribe button, because we'd like you to go along on some of our other adventures too. Got any comments or questions? Maybe you want to suggest some hikes somewhere around here? Let us know. Be glad to hear you. So until next time, you guys be safe, and we hope to see you out on the trail. Adios.